Welcome to Post Game Podcast. I'm your host, June. I got my boy B Foster with me. We are starting with the NBA off-season vibes type of thing going on here. B Foster has his featured player of the week. It's going to be an NBA prospect for the 2024 draft. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, B Foster.
All right, the first player we're going to talk about is Rob Dillingham out of Kentucky. He's projected to go in the top three, anywhere from the top three to the late part of the lottery. He's 6'3", 167 pounds, 176 pounds. He's 19 years old, and he's a combo guard. He's projected to be the first guard off the board, and he is a scoring ball handler, and he has comps to Kobe White, Kemba Walker, and Lou Williams, which they pretty much fit his build. You know, Kemba Walker wasn't very tall, wasn't very big, but he could fill up that net for sure. He's a good ball handler, and he has enough playmaking ability to also initiate the offense. He's a 3-level scorer, and he has a flurry of quick moves to get open. He, depending on his efficiency, will determine whether he's going to be a guy that can be a scorer off the bench as a sixth man, or if he's somebody that will be able to run an offense and be a starting point guard at the next level. He has adequate height, but he's definitely a little undersized. Like I said, he's only 176 pounds. So that's going to limit him defensively, especially when he's going up against, bigger guards. And he's limited in his explosion. He's not, he's a quick guy, but he doesn't play above the rim. As far as his strengths, obviously his ball handling, he can score in transition and off of screens. He's one of the more accurate players when it comes to that floater in the lane, and he can catch fire and he can score in flurries. And he's improved he's definitely a score first guard, but he's improved his playmaking ability. As far as his weaknesses, like I said, he plays below the rim, so he's not a guy that's just gonna dunk all over you. He focuses on that floater in the lane, but he's pretty accurate as far as that's concerned. His shot selection, he can take some pretty errant shots, and that's going to affect his efficiency, as I said earlier. Lastly, he's thin at his position, like I said, so he's going to need to be paired with a bigger guard if at the next level. He's going to have to be paired with a bigger guard and probably guard that smaller guard if there's a smaller guard. Go ahead, what do you think?
Paired with a bigger guard like Cade.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to get to is that as far as his fit next to Cade, well, for one, we would have to figure out something as far as the Ivy situation. I don't know if it makes a whole lot of sense to play Ivy, Dillingham, and Cade next to each other, but yeah, I obviously Cade being a bigger guard, it makes sense in that regards. But yeah, outside of that, if he can be more efficient and shoot better from the outside than Ivy, then that obviously makes sense. But it's going to be real interesting to see where people, how people feel about possibly giving up on an Ivy this early in his career. But that is Dillingham.
Check us out on Bleachers and Speakers on the YouTube, subscribe to that channel, please, and check us out for your audio feeds on all podcast streaming platforms. That would be Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, just about any podcast streaming platform. You can catch all of our audio from all the shows we have and all the player profiles. So Foster has done his homework. It'd be kind of interesting if the Pistons took a liking to this guy here. I mean, eh, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think right now they're looking for ball players. I mean, more than anything, no matter the position. So we'll see. It's still early in the scouting process as far as the draft, but if you had Killian, you can add this guy, but you do have the guy from the Knicks. What was his name? Groves. I mean,
Oh, Grimes.
Grimes. Yeah. So I mean, I don't even know his name. He barely played.
He said gross.
But anyway, but it'd be interesting, this draft, man. I don't know anything about it, so thank you, Foster, for this take on this particular player.